When we say something is entertainment, we are saying that we find something fun, easy to consume, and ultimately disposable. But this cloaks the power of entertainment. Entertainment fills up our spare time. It helps us relax. But it is not frivolous. Entertainment emits power. It tells us who we are and how to be in our world. We are in thrall to entertainment. So, what is entertainment? A number of years ago, I recorded this footage at a music festival in the mountains of Serbia. Every year, the festival centers around a competition between trumpet players and their bands. It started as a small celebration of folk art and culture, but over the decades, it became larger and larger. Nowadays, it takes over the entire village, sprawling outwards with numerous stalls selling souvenirs and knickknacks. The village and surrounding valley buzzes in a haze of charcoal smoke, flesh roasting over burning coals, the smell of spit roasting pigs and sheep, and much more. Thousands of people attend, sleeping outdoors, eating, drinking until the early hours. One night, I let the camera record the audience as they enjoyed themselves. I locked the camera on this man, who in turn had his attention fixed on the stage. He stayed that way for hours. I was shooting a documentary that I have yet to finish. But over the years, I sometimes think about this man, his face and his stillness, how focused he is on the music behind us, as everyone jostles and parties around him. Entertainment makes us laugh and cry. It makes us yelp with delight and howl in fear. We consume it in our free hours. We stay up late, past our bedtimes, and lose sleep for it. It pervades our world, but it is not universal. You can't account for individual taste, or like the man here and the people around him, you cannot generalize how it will make different people feel and act. One person's entertainment is another person's punishment. This endless variety of feelings and sensations that the term entertainment encompasses renders its meaning elusive. The closer you approach it, ever further will it recede. Yet, at the same time, when you call something entertainment, everyone knows what you mean. Whether expressing your love for the movie Legally Blonde, or Schlager music, or police body cam videos, or monster truck rallies, or hip-hop interpretations of the work of William Shakespeare, or doing yoga in the Rothko Chapel, or amateur symphony orchestras, or gambling on blood sports like cockfighting, fox tossing, octopus wrestling, or whatever. When you call it entertainment, everyone gets what you mean. They understand something about you, what you find entertaining. So entertainment is a way of describing your own attitude towards something, communicating to others your own investment in something and what it means to you. It's a general subjective category that we shove a whole bunch of experiences, artifacts, feelings, relationships, and reactions into.
So, I'm curious, where does entertainment come from? What does it do to us? Why? Let's pause for a moment and go back just a little bit and see how our story of entertainment is the story of humankind.
In the beginning, we are told, there was nothing, and it was boring. But then, all of a sudden, something happened. Maybe an explosion, or a godly act of creation, or whatever. A tiny, vibrant spark somehow blossomed into our sublime cosmos. Fast forward, and here we are. What entertainment is and how it works depends on who's telling the story. Historians, anthropologists, behavioral scientists, and others each have distinct yet overlapping narratives about entertainment.
So, what are some of these stories? Now, just for a moment, take a deep, deep breath. And imagine that you are a cave person.
They say that for early nomadic humans, the world was alive in ways very different from how we perceive it now. Back then, the sounds of trees creaking in the wind, the cosmic violence of earthquakes and landslides, forest fires and floods. It was magical, spiritual, mythical. Even our own bodies were hidden from us. Our blood and bile, the putrid, mysterious gunk within. Huddled by a fire, sheltering from a storm at night, we tell stories about cataclysms, about the prey we hunt, the horrifying predators who stalk us. The mouth of a cave calls out to you, a gaping mouth of a strange beast or a new god, inexplicable moments of beauty that the world sings of. Fear and the unknown entwined with entertainment. Deep in a cave, drawing our world and recording our presence, a hand marks a wall. Tribal communities would have had songs and dances to appease the gods. And as early humans began to settle and farm, we would have prayed for rain, for bountiful harvests, for abundant fertility. A proto-entertainment that was active and tried to affect the world in its mysterious, terrifying ways. Cities and empires take hold, and we have pageants, carnivals and other amusements, systemic entertainments, built into calendars, organizing social and economic life into cyclical, predictable time. Less a magicking of our chaotic and ambivalent world into being kind to us, but more a hedge against the relentless churn of seasons and all the unpredictable future brought with it. So here we are, floating through the electrified, quivering plasma of the white hot right now. With industrialization and electrification, our capacity to produce and consume entertainment grows exponentially. All that once was directly lived has become mere representation.
If you follow what the activist, situationist, and man about town Guy Debord thought.
Entertainment is such an all-engrossing mode of being and way of seeing that we can't help but experience our reality through its particular optics. Never be boring. Excite me. The drama of news, the philosophy of comedy, the tragedy of politics, and so on. The word entertainment folds back in on itself. Its late Middle English origin, taken from the 12th century Old French entretenir, itself based on Latin, inter, among, and tenere, or to hold. The Latin tenere being from the root ten, to stretch, originally meaning maintain, continue, hold together, stick together, support. It later came to mean maintain in a certain condition, treat in a certain way, and then also to show hospitality. To enter, to hold, to stretch and to weave, to intertwine and maintain, to make welcome and sustain comfort through millennia of shifting language and history and prehistory and back again. Entertainment arrives in the modern age, ever more connected, faster, busier, brighter, louder, but no less surprising and mercurial. Entertainment entwines us together, holds us in the eternal here and now of infinite past and endless future. So, what for entertainment? Are you good for us? Or are you bad? History gives us a notion of entertainment that can be utilized for good or bad. From lowbrow to middlebrow to highbrow, from blood sports to ballet, pernicious porno to posh porcelain portraiture, our inherited concept of entertainment has a built-in hierarchy. From spectacles appealing to our supposedly lowest, primitive impulses, to frivolous, time-killing diversions, to the luminous pursuit of refinement in our God-given leisure hours. Intellectuals moralize about so-called uplift, the necessity to educate at the same time as entertain. And so we have public broadcasters and other national initiatives to try and promote this soft power engagement with the souls of its citizens. The worker pursuing betterment in their spare time, the capitalist enjoying their rewards of entrepreneurial endeavor, and so on. At the top of this moralist's pyramid are the museums and archives, the science shows, the worthy documentaries, the operas and orchestras, the sustenance of the soul, the uplift of the productive citizen. Slide down a bit, and we're in the vast plateau of the middle brow. In the populist media, scandal sheets trading in salacious prurience. The vibrant brain rot ground bait of slop-ed opinion columns and loudmouth dramas, the pleasantly mindless jingles of continuous commercialism blip-blooping along, delightful video games through Saturday and Sunday afternoon true crime romance death cult with a glass of wine before dinner, devolving to verticals and micro melodramas, dashcam and road rage thrillers, and drone attack retribution on desperate peasants. Our frazzled and primitive nervous systems plug directly into the power grid, like hot dogs sizzling on a nuclear reactor, dreaming, queasily twitching in fits and starts, our innards slow cooked. Underneath the pyramid, to the secret sewers of exploitation, the dark matter of our matrix, greasy fingers dripping into vast seas of porn, cruelty and violence that bubbles up and steam powers the brows of the middle and high. The less said, the better. Well, that's the moralist's pyramid of entertainment anyways. And besides making you feel either smug or ashamed of your entertainment diet, it's more or less a useless pyramid. Why?
This is Raymond Williams, a Welsh socialist, writer, and academic.
In so many places now, people are moving out and being moved from old settled ways into new ways, unprecedented ways, which have to be felt, recognized, understood, responded to, altered. Borders, I think, are meant to be crossed.
He's long gone now, but sometime in the 1960s or 70s, Raymond took an ocean liner from the United Kingdom to Miami. In his hotel, he watched American commercial television for the first time, and it blew his mind. Not necessarily in a good way. American TV, with its paid commercials and ads and breakneck blah 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 and blinking light speed, was very different from the public broadcasting back home in Britain. Raymond described American TV as an irresponsible flow of images and feelings. There's a lot to say about Raymond and his writings, but that's for another place. For us, or rather for me, what's important is the fact that though it might be taken as a condemnation of American capitalist, consumerist, yada yada whateverism, when I hear something described as an irresponsible flow of images and feelings, I most definitely want to see what that thing is. I want to experience what irresponsible flows and images and feelings are. It sounds fun, a visceral thrill. Granted, maybe that's just me. When I was very young, my parents told me not to touch the electrical outlet. But the next chance I had, I put a fork in it. Zap! I did the same thing with the elements on the stovetop. Sizzle! I also like to run away. Anyway, Raymond helped me understand that our inherited hierarchy of culture and knowledge and self-betterment lacks an element of visceral physical thrill-seeking, as well as accounting for a desire to expand one's bodily knowledge. For example,
the moralist's pyramid completely forgets that there's a lot of entertainment which is purposely designed to make us feel uncomfortable, sad, confused, unsettled, fearful, bad. And just like the supposedly positive emotions we can feel when entertained, oftentimes there's no lesson learned. Thank God. Horror films, dark and nihilist literature, noise music, and so on. It can be difficult to coax any message or meaning out of much of this entertainment that some consume and enjoy, despite the seemingly contrary effects of the ingestion. Cultural commentators claim that, for example, horror films speak to the anxiety we all experience in our contemporary times. Worries about our relationships, our bodies, our societies, and so on. Yeah, sure. That's a smart sounding thing to say, thank you. But it's a fig leaf covering the naughty bits of culture. The ones that just don't listen. The bits that never learn their lesson. We consume bad, wrong, and negative entertainment as a form of aggressive tactical perversity. not in the sense of sexual perversion, necessarily, but rather in resistance against notions of good taste, of the very uplift and educational rectitude of so-called good entertainment that simply hides prescriptive suppression and social hierarchies, the mind-rot jargonistics of the closed shop isms of the jabbering academic. From a behavioral viewpoint, we play video games that stress us out, that keep us awake all night, that frustrate us. We do this because we are searching for the zero-risk shortcut to instinctual response and reward, the rush of dopamine, the hit that we get after our limbic system starts buzzing with fight or flight excitement. Why go out alligator wrestling or street fighting when you can spend all night doing cocaine and playing Grand Theft Auto, with the odd break to masturbate? When people say attention economy, they are trying to be objective in regards to the valuable product they want to lay claim to: entertainment. In this scheme, we are the product, our primitive bodies and minds, and entertainment is the blood, the sustaining life force that keeps us energized and productive within this system. A wealth of information creates a poverty of attention and a need to allocate that attention efficiently among the overabundance of information sources that might consume it. We will not pay attention to something that is not entertaining. Entertainment is subjectively valuable information. It sings out from the bland droning fog of content that we are each immersed in. But this economy, no matter how dystopic, struggles against being generalist. Unlike the universalist primitive behavior model, each bland fog is made specially for us, each sparkle of entertainment produced just for us. Whether you desire bright and shiny, blinking and bubbly comedies and light-hearted romance, life-affirming reality shows, serious-minded campaigning documentaries struggling for the righteous light, or you want turgid horror, abject noise, fearsome gothic darkness, nihilism, eerie, creepy, unpleasant, and malevolent. There's something for everyone, and this moment of content history precedes, reality becomes ever more bespoke and specific, tempting us to generalize, but fundamentally resisting that generalization. But, indeed, we are not only rational actors. We are not just pure thought. We are not just pure anything. We are animals. And all us animals are what we eat. Entertainment saps our energy, but reinvigorates and excites us too. It is tempting to try and separate the notion of so-called recreation, sport, and similar leisure activities from entertainment, saying that entertainment is passive and based simply around consuming, without thought or engagement. But not only does this completely misunderstand just how active and prehensile audience and attention are, it mistakenly limits the potential of entertainment. The behavioralist us consumes entertainment, and so becomes entertainment itself, a kind of transubstantiation for the postmodern age. We are one with the entertainment godhead. Thus, we become entertaining, inextricably intertwined with each other and our world. We wrestle with it, We make love with it, we dance with it, we kill it, and we consume it. We optimize our algorithms, and our algorithms optimize us, becoming ever more specific. A castle built just for us.
And the angel said unto him, Stop hitting yourself. But lo, he could not, for the angel was hitting him with his own hands.
Entertainment gaslights us into compliance. It's the animal violence a bully disguises behind a prank. It teaches us how to be people in the world, how social interactions as well as relations should happen. It is something to be exploited and manipulated and replicated. It also brings us joy and laughter. It moves us. It is something to be celebrated and valued. Entertainment is not the thing we pay attention to.
It is the finger pointing towards the object of our affection.
It is the universe that we do not see, that we cannot see, that surrounds the thing we pay attention to. It is the negative space surrounding the thing we are looking at. The thing we pay attention to is the moment of peace and sense around the turmoil of infinite nonsense that we can never comprehend. Ignore the negative space. It is incomprehensible. By our own devices, we are immersed in a world that is hell-bent on the complete possession of our faculties and minds. We stagger through an open-air zoo of non-stop diversion. Yes, we sense there's something wrong, but increasingly we feel imprisoned, but beautiful blinking lights. Colors, sound, colors, shape, colors, colors. We could all throw away our phones and go outside for a walk, but we do not. We think we want to be entertained, but so many things point to the fact that we must be entertained.
Lean in, closer, listen carefully. What do you hear? What can you see? What is it we are being made to feel?